My boyfriend is hiding all my stuff and I have no idea why. My boyfriend of 5 months just moved in with me 3 weeks ago. He had some problems with his apartment, damp walls, and it has to be renovated. As my roommate is currently spending some time abroad, I told him it would be okay if he stayed at my place for 4 to 6 weeks. He'll be able to move back to his own apartment by that time. So, now we've been living together for 3 weeks and things started out great. Jealousy had been a bit of a problem between us because we often go out separately probably once a week, but coming home to the same apartment helped him get over his unjustified jealousy. But there has been one new problem. Now this may seem petty at first, but I'm really at my wit's end with this one. Ever since he moved in with me, things started disappearing and then reappearing one day later in the same place they were missing from. I'm talking about documents, small household items and food. And it's not like losing keys and then finding them again somewhere. I specifically look for something in a certain place where it isn't, but is there the next day. For example, I like to take a chocolate bar with me to work in the morning, and for that, I normally have a pack of chocolate bars at home. Shortly after he moved in with me, I woke up to find all the chocolate was gone. I asked him about it, he said he didn't know anything about it. I come home just to find the chocolate bars are in the cupboard again. I ask him, he says he doesn't know anything about it. Maybe you just didn't see them in the morning. We're talking about a large pack with about 12 chocolate bars, how can I not see that? At first, I thought it was maybe some strange kind of humor, but he seems angry when I bring it up and it's starting to really piss me off because sometimes it's been items belonging to one of my friends that I wanted to give back to them and then couldn't, or it was certain documents I needed for a certain day. Now, I have absolutely no idea what this is about. I'm not crazy, I just don't understand it all. He gets really angry when I talk about it, saying I'm making this up just to cause drama. Why should I? I have no idea what's going on. Any ideas? Update. After I read all your comments and did some reading on gaslighting, I was really freaked out. Plenty of you told me there were other red flags in our relationship. It got me thinking and more stuff came to mind that should have worried me a long time ago. Our whole relationship felt pretty rushed from the start. I didn't even want to date, but he showered me with romantic gifts / gestures / date ideas / texts and I finally gave in. He was pretty upset when I didn't want to say I love you from the start, when I didn't want him to meet my family right away, when I didn't want to have sex without a condom, you don't trust me, and when I didn't want to book an expensive vacation with him. He was very jealous and didn't want me to go out without him, although he went out with his friends all the time. He made me cancel plans to spend time with him and then stood me up. He logged into my Facebook and changed my relationship status one day after we started dating as a surprise. I actually did worry at that but thought he was just bad at making surprises. As one of the best comment pointed out, all the stuff that has gone missing had something to do with me leaving the house or meeting friends and family. A gift for my friend, the key to my parents' house, a USB stick I borrowed, documents for an application for a semester abroad, which we had a huge fight about because he didn't want me to go, etc. After I read all about gaslighting, I ordered a nanny cam. Unfortunately, the delivery took 4 days and after day 1 I already knew I couldn't be with him any longer. I wanted him out of the apartment ASAP and with as little drama as possible. I told him that my roommate had gotten a really interesting job offer and would cut her vacation short and come home in a week, so he had to move out. He was pretty angry, but I told him that there was nothing I could do. I also told him that his landlord had to get him a place to stay and that he should call him. The next day, he told me that he had talked to his landlord and he could move back in his own flat on the following weekend. The renovations had not taken as long as planned. At this point, I doubt the apartment ever had damp walls to begin with, but who knows? In the evening he asked me if I wanted to move in with him because it works so well and you don't like your roommate anyway. I never even said that. I told him sure, I would move in with him in June. He was pretty excited about it. While I was waiting for the nanny cam to arrive, there was one incident when something went missing, a book that I had ordered for my dad over Amazon and wanted to bring him the next day, at least that's what I told my BF. Of course in the morning the book was gone. I chose to ignore it and he reacted quite strange to it, even asked me on my way out if I had taken the book with me. Why on earth would he ask that if he didn't expect a reaction from me? I just asked, what book? The book you wanted to bring your dad. I don't know what you're talking about. In the evening the book was on my desk again, of course, and I ignored it again. 2 hours later he casually walks by my desk and says, that's the book I was talking about. I just said, oh, that book? He seemed pretty angry for the rest of the evening. 2 days later the nanny cam finally arrived. I set it up while he was at the gym and again when he was there, placed a letter I needed for work on my desk. I wasn't surprised at all when it was gone a few hours later and reappeared the next day. When I finally was alone at home again and could check out the nanny cam evidence, I only saw what I already knew. He took the letter while passing the desk, put it in his gym bag and put it back a few hours later. However, as soon as I saw the evidence, I decided against confronting him. To be honest, I was scared of his reaction and had already decided to break it off as soon as possible. Also, the camera didn't show me his motive and I figured he probably wouldn't tell me anyway. However, it frustrated me very much that I would probably never know why he did it, and on the last evening before he moved back to his newly renovated apartment, I told him I wanted to watch an old movie called Gaslight. Thanks for the tip, everybody, it really is a great movie. He sat with me through the whole movie, but was quieter than usual while I talked the whole time about how unrealistic the movie was and that he was obviously insane. I actually expected some kind of reaction from him, but he just sat there looking nervous. On Sunday he took all his stuff back to his apartment. My brother had organized someone to come and change the locks, and as soon as that was done, I wrote my BF a text telling him that it was over, I had no interest in being contacted again, that our breakup was final, and I thought it was very sad that he had to hide my things to keep the relationship interesting. Since then he called me more or less non-stop, but I haven't picked up and I won't. I know, this isn't the most heroic or exciting ending. I could have confronted him with the video evidence, but instead I cowardly broke up with a text message. However, I really didn't want to confront him and have a dramatic fight. I just wanted it to be over as soon and as smoothly as possible. If there's anything I've learned from this, it's to not rush into a relationship. For the past 7 years, I've jumped from one LTR to the next, and I think it's time to stay single for a while and concentrate on my college classes. For now, I'm going to stay at my brother's for 2 or 3 weeks, and I should probably change my phone number. I'm sorry that I can't give you any insight on why he did it. It may have been kleptomania, a prank, or messing with my stuff because something about me frustrated him. I will probably never know. In all the texts he sent me, it only says that he doesn't know what I'm talking about and he never took my things. Update 2. I'd love to give you an overall happy update, but unfortunately, the breakup didn't go as smoothly as I first thought it would. I never picked up when my ex called me and never wrote back to one of his countless messages, but I read most of them and there was a certain shift in his messages after about 4 days when he suddenly went from this: "I love you and miss you so much. I don't know what you think I have done, but I can assure you I didn't do anything wrong. Whoever told you that is a liar. Please give me another chance," to this: "You're such a whiny bitch, no wonder you can't hold up a relationship with anyone. I hate you and there's no second chance for us no matter how much you wish for that. For your own sake, pray to not ever run into me again." I blocked his number later that same week but had an overall bad feeling when some strange things happened. Some friends of mine called to ask if I'm okay and they were all under the impression I had broken up with him because I wanted to concentrate on my mental health. Twice, I came to work and everyone was surprised to see me because someone had called to let them know I wasn't feeling well enough for working. When I asked who that was, they said he told them he was my doctor. Also, my ex wrote to my mom on Facebook. They actually never met in person, pretending to be a concerned friend asking about my well-being after my latest breakdown. It was very easy to clear some of that stuff up, especially with my family, but it was harder to do so at work. After 3 weeks at my brother's, I decided to move back into my own apartment, which was not a good idea. On the second evening I saw my ex in front of the building and then I saw him at least every other day standing on the other side of the street just looking across. After about a week, someone started to ring the bell at 3 a.m. for 5 days straight. Also, 3 times I came home and found a little piece of paper in front of my door with a flame drawn on it. It creeped me out so much that he somehow managed to get into the building. I grew more and more afraid to leave the apartment and finally decided to move back in with my brother and his family. My friend, whom I shared the apartment with and who is currently abroad, didn't take too well to the whole story. She was furious when she heard I changed the locks without telling her, and even more furious when I told her I'd be moving out because that was not what we initially agreed upon. However, I just can't go back there. In hindsight though, I probably should have involved her more in the process. I did ask her parents if it was okay to change the locks as it is their apartment, but I didn't speak to her about it. I feel really shitty about letting him stay in her apartment in the first place. I also went to the police to get a restraining order. It was a surprise to me how hard it is to get one of those. I needed not only evidence of him harassing me but also evidence of him threatening my safety. However, after long hours and much patience from my SIL, I got one. The bright side is that I got approved for my semester abroad, which starts in October. To not burden my brother any longer, I will already leave in August and maybe travel around a bit. I'm already in a Facebook group with all the other exchange students that will spend the next semester there, and I think I certainly won't be alone. Smiley face. When I'll come back, I'll be looking for a small apartment on my own. I still don't have Amazon Prime. I'm sorry. I can't thank you all enough for opening my eyes after my first post here. I actually had no idea what was going on, even if I had a feeling that something was off. You guys saved me from a very abusive relationship, and every day, I'm grateful I got out of it soon enough. Best comment. I think she didn't take the calling in to work thing nearly seriously enough. That's someone setting up so that if you're missing, no one realizes or responds during the critical period. If someone ever does that to you, you should tell your work to immediately contact you if it happens again and to report her missing immediately if she can't be contacted. Best comment too. Seriously. And contacting friends and family about her breakdown is trying to bias them to think she's crazy/overly jittery in case she confides in them that she's afraid of some psycho who's stalking her. He tried to head off everyone's concern for her as he terrorized her. The whole situation is really scary. Best comment 3. I'm listening to a true crime podcast episode right now and a woman didn't show up for her shift at her job at a bank. Her coworkers contacted the police immediately because they knew the missing woman had problems with her husband, had never been late before, and told her coworkers if I go missing he's done something to me. The police said hey she's just barely late for a shift, so no big deal, stop worrying. I feel like this is the usual police response. Oh, your teen hasn't contacted you in a couple days and never came home? That's just typical teen behavior. I'm sure she's just out partying with friends and will turn up soon. I hope that's not typical of police responses when people go missing, but I fear it is.